and they will confirm the succession, and they will, I imagine, at some point hear from the new king. And those statements by him will be important to set the tone for his reign, but also setting out his aspirations, his wish, his ambition.
Was what was remarkable about her, and that's what we see, that we will never have another monarch.
At the temple, I've been speaking to people of all backgrounds. Earlier, I spoke to somebody who reminded me of the special ties. He said that many, particularly the older generation who settled here in the 60s and 70s, they came to Leicester to work in the textile.
King Charles III, that has been confirmed as his name, Charles III.
And I was thinking again about something you said earlier, Simon, about those Fs that have been so important to the Queen during her reign, the family.
Barnett, you should cry because you've done really well.
Speaking about her affection for the place, an affection shared by herself and her husband, Prince Philip, and
the Mercedes-Benz
presenting privilege, which has kind of come up, which ordinarily happens at the.
Look, you know you can talk to me, right? I'm here.
You banked earlier on. Now the massive £10,000 for your charity. You are taking away 14,000.
You'd find another job easily.
But with these machines, it's all about simplicity and reliability.
So I guess development.
My type, so if start off the week with a nice little blonde girl, that'd be good.
Which means a reality check. Somebody has cut.
It's so nice. Suitcase from the van.
It was Daisy, and something's happened to her.
Really uncomfortable because Remainers, we've got the classic British thing. So what I would say to them is, you won, we lost, suck it.
Of Britain, affable auctioneers Tim Medhurst and Catherine Southern.
And sizes. Well.
Gladys?
Did I buy a falafel from you yesterday?
Anxiety. I know you have to move. I think you should really think about coming here. Maybe it would be good if we had
get into sales topics.
Yeah, what about those leads?
Murder her, making Trimmen
days and somehow park all her ambitions to make an introduction to the British people.
Try ringing it. It's just horrific after everything poor Ella's been through this year.
Things like this can really impact a young person for a really long time.
You didn't do anything wrong. She deserved to be punished.
Good boy.
In a quiet corner of the English countryside, there's a place for those looking for love.
Welcome to Agree. Thank you.
But it's not just about mechanics. This is a personal journey for Martin. His father, Derek, is always fitting.
Gun filled me with terror.
Mr. Spock, except for second.
At us, you would have got shot.
Coming up.
It's a white male driver.
A wet and
Where's the fun? There's no fun in being normal. Life's for living, you know.
I'd like to take... This is real forest bathing. I'll be getting all Club Tropicana with 80s pop legend Pep.
To marry American divorcee Wallace Simpson. The scandal forced his abdication.
1936 was a very traumatic moment because Princess Elizabeth's beloved Uncle David, Edward VIII,
made so many Christmas addresses, appeared at so many national events and been such a part of our identity for such a long time, for so many generations. And Kate and Simon are in the studio with us now.
Who worked in the burgeoning field of biotech.
They were never married. They had a son together.
He was a stay-at-home dad for a number of years.
They've just made that word up.
No, they haven't.
But you don't know what Formula Chase is in at the moment, so I'll be tempted to play safe and go for the 7,000.
And there are millions of people, we'll show the pictures a little bit later on, millions of people around the country, thousands outside Buckingham Palace, some outside Balmoral as well. They have known no other monarch either. Profound change as well as profound sadness.
It is. It's a massive moment for the country, and I think people are just taking it in, absorbing it, and I would imagine that many millions of people.
Black market injectables. Well, I knew she wasn't a doctor, but I did think that she had some sort of
at a point where Kipling...
A nes i'n dweud hynny wrthi yn union yn y ffordd yna. Ond, fe ddeallodd hi drwy phrofiad yn yr Alban beth oedd yn digwydd yng Nghymru. Ac mi ddwedes i wrthi ar un adeg, da ni'n benderfynol, mae unrhyw beth sydd wedi digwydd yn yr Alban, mae'n mynd i gael digwydd yma hefyd. Da chi'n deall hynna. A dwi'n deall beth da chi'n dweud, dwi'n deall pam da chi'n dweud o.
Ond yr undeb oedd yn bwysig iddi, neu oedd hi'n gweld yr undeb yn newid?
Agree that side? Or...
Yeah, he's got like a cut to the nose.
Yeah.
And she'd simply lost track.
About this one. Let's have a walk around, see if we can find something else. Yeah?
I was around 160 pounds. My mom began to hear from family and
Brake shoes. Most brake drums are made out of cast iron because of the heat. They don't...
Got some of these cysts that are still here. I mean, this is a decent sized cyst here, isn't it?
Because
Hello, Mr. Scripps. I'm Nurse Taylor. How are you feeling?
Where am I?
Another entertaining programme, that's a big tick from me. Trust a Trader, sponsoring ITV4 early evening.
TrustATrader.com.
This is EE Full Fibre Broadband.
And I can't
can't wait. Come on, Kate, let's go. Now, don't forget to feed Pebbles. Chain. And to get me out, my mom had to cut a big chunk of my hair.
Epic Fresh Body Spray.
Yeah, no, you. Nobody over there setting an example, you know? Right. But I do supposed to be seeing her.
Or you know.
Where she puts the skills that have helped her become a much-loved local figure and occasional TV.
A mile up ahead, Lewis looks to have timed things to perfection.
Oh, tell me, what are you cooking?
I'm gonna cook an Indian street food dish.
Kinetic and spectroelectrochemistry
No.
style. The mechanism of red oxidation.
No.
Square.
I'm going after her.
I'm going with him.
Mr. Yateman said you'd take me to pick bluebells.
That's my husband you've got there. You said you was going to be all day repairing the organ. And what about you? You said you got to go to an affair at the WVS. Well, I'll take full responsibility. Norman. I don't care, Beryl. Let the world know. It's been 12 years in heaven.
It's Pancake Day, or as it's known in France, Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday.
Oops, that's very good.
In France, it's an opportunity to dress up, and at the chateau for superheroes to prove their culinary expertise.
All right.
Oh, sorry.
So it's Fat Tuesday.
Fat Tuesday.
Our very own detective bureau. Identify.
They were under constant fire as they climbed the cliff. It must have been a terrifying prospect.
The Germans were throwing down potato masher grenades.
Had not been put out, had not been stomped out on the floor.
In other words,
Mr. Byrne!
Hello. Who's this?
Be nice to find you a real dog, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So have you got an idea of what kind?
Of ongoing drug use, officers escalate their investigation.
Has there been any?
We get the sweat out. Aerial Active Pods take on stains and odours.
Is this silver scent bottle the reason why?
Give him the painting.
Don't forget, we want a copy of this.
Right, sir. No touch.
Of their stone citadel. Many dangers surround.
Pain, we only talk about two sides. Pain you feel and relief once it's gone. But what about...
They count for children with sight loss. Guide dogs.
We've got a log which we've drilled holes in to mimic the holes in the bark of trees.
That purifying, clean feeling that you love from a dental tool, now you can feel it at home with Oral-B's iO. Memories that we create.
what I always say about houses.
Beautiful, but this boy.
Good boy.
He's beautiful.
Pads might look the same, but they're designed to work differently. They protect against leaks, odour and moisture, so you can stay dry for up to 12 hours.
Keeps you dry.
Okay, I can calculate coordinates, but how do we find Walter's...
Seconds.
Shut up!
Pop out the ball.
Put your hands on your head! Put your head!
You know, he's got over 200 checks here. A
Hands
of Indy
on your head!
Drafting. He even has little payroll envelopes addressed to himself. From
Put it down!
Why should I?
Because you're Simon Templar.
I make a point of never helping beautiful ladies.
Wonderful pictures. We've got so many wonderful pictures of Her Majesty the Queen. We've got to celebrate her life as well and appreciate that she did so much for us for so very, very long.
Yeah, absolutely. And the point you keep making, I think, Dermot, is a very important one, that for the vast majority of people in this country, she is the only monarch that they have known until this day. And what is happening here in Balmoral is, well, it's a night of great sadness, clearly, but it is the gathering place tonight. Her family, King Charles is here, and Prince Harry has just arrived from Aberdeen Airport, so he is here with Prince William, who arrived earlier, and there will be huge mourning here, as there is around the rest of the country, but this was, as you say, a very special place for the Queen. It was her holiday home, to be quite honest about it. She loved it here. She came here every summer. She looked forward to coming here every summer.
Each other, and to be honest, I started out, I'd probably say I was better than her, but she improved quite a bit over the tournament. So.
We understand this is how it pans. The chasers.
Did it work? We'll see when we get to look at the gooseneck. Now, it didn't. He tried that on Brad Ray again, the same move as he tried in the first part yesterday. Up the inside, down into Mansfield. Has it worked yet?
Yep.
I don't know.
Although the inside line is now
just about.
Yeah, he's managed to hold it. So Rory Skinner up to third ahead of Bradley Ray.
Forceful by Rory.
Turned out this afternoon. In the time that I've been.
Well, I'm afraid we've lost connection there with Mark Austin. I think it's weather conditions. They're pretty bad down here in London, but at Balmoral, I think the rain is falling even more heavily, and some gremlins have got into the broadcasting equipment there. Mark was going to have a conversation with Louise Tate, so I'll take over. Louise Tate was the Scottish Press Secretary for Her Majesty for 15 years, Louise.
And those problems was something that the British people...
And one of the most extraordinary things will be to see how Prince Charles, who has proclaimed that he wants to be defender of faiths, with the plural, will handle that in a coronation which is traditionally and exclusively the matter for the Church of England. At the Queen's, the only outside element was that she was given a Bible by the General Moderator of the Moderator of the General Assembly of the Church of Scotland. He presented her with a Bible. But you see, we've already seen in what's happening now all sorts of shifts that are really unique to the moment. Prince Charles happens to be in Scotland, so he's going to go to Edinburgh, and then he will go to Cardiff, and he will go to Belfast. This is new. This is a product of a devolved monarchy.
Yes.
Britain, right from 1707, from the Act of Union, has always been multinational. But the fact is obvious now. There are assemblies. There is the Scottish...
She was held right around the world, particularly...
that they're being able to be paid enough in these current scenarios of higher prices?
We can only hope so, but it's a real moment for Liz Truss, the new Prime Minister, to show her leadership. Of course, if you remember when the presenter fainted in one of the TV leadership debates for the contest to be the Prime Minister, Liz Truss showed her capacity for empathy. And
smart manufacturing, high tech, tech to replace, foreign imports.
With America and the importance of a figure like the Queen to many Americans. Can you enlighten us on that, why this connection is so strong?
You kind of called him Prince Charles, but he's not Prince Charles anymore. He's King Charles.
No, of course, this is now King Charles. And of course, Liz Truss, for the first time in a generation, used the term in her closing speech earlier today. But Charles, who now, of course, was the Prince of Wales, now King of the United Kingdom, Great Britain, Northern Ireland, and now also holds the realm over the Commonwealth. His style is His Majesty rather than His Royal Highness, and Charles is also the defender of faith as Governor of Church of England. Of course, this is Queen Elizabeth's son, and according to the Privy website, it says the new monarch will proclaim an oath of Association Council, which will begin as I, King Charles, by the grace of God of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and of my other realms and territories, King Defender of Faith.
Yeah, and unlike
right now, we set every record on jobs. We've never had an economy.
At times there have been ripples of applause that have been going through the crowd. There have been cheers of hip, hip, hooray. People have come, they're quiet for the most part, they're respectful, but I think they also have a huge amount of affection in their hearts, and they're here to share a moment, really, and be part of something historic.
Al Jazeera's Rory Challens reporting live there from Buckingham Palace in London. For the moment, Rory, many thanks indeed. As you heard, their Queen Elizabeth is succeeded on the British throne by her son, Prince Charles, who will now be known as King Charles III. The new king has been groomed for the role for at least 70 years and is expected to address the nation on Friday. Al Jazeera's Paul Brennan reports.
He's been heir to the throne since 1952, a long time to wait for his very particular destiny. Those who believe in him say he's put the time to good use.
Charles has actually been preparing. He hasn't spent his time riding polo ponies and cutting the odd ribbon here and there. He has actually been around the world many times. He's met world leaders many times over. He's a great student of history and of politics. He knows what it's all about.
To Buckingham Palace to take stock of public sentiment and overhaul its image. Weddings became a chance for the royal family to reinvent itself under the gaze of the nation. In 2011, the Queen's grandson, Prince William, married Kate Middleton, a woman without an aristocratic background. It showcased a new generation of royals, free to choose partners from outside the nobility and to follow true love in a way ordinary people could relate to.
She looked absolutely stunning.
It was such a lovely wedding.
Stunning, and everyone did, the whole royal family, her family. It was great.
Through which
There's a slight...
To Buckingham Palace, it's 25 years almost exactly to Diana.
Yes.
And in the same way, after that
It is literally
shock,
almost
yeah,
the
yeah,
25th anniversary,
just,
wasn't it?
Absolutely, just thinking
In
that.
fact, and the funeral, I think, was a week after Diana died, so it would be a very similar day, actually.
25 years, and the crowds are coming for the same, in the same way they want to be together.
In a way, I mean, the difference would be, I guess, in Diana's case, she was 36. It was a car crash. It was shocking. People were traumatised, and there was a kind of odd hysteria gripped the country. I remember it feeling, it was a very odd feeling. Yeah. And I remember going past Kensington Palace, and people were sort of, hysterical. It won't be like that, Richard, will it? It'll be, this is a more measured and respectful and dignified, I think, mourning of a great woman who lived a great life.
Without question, and it's funny, I've had a text as well whilst we've been here. My son is doing exactly the same.
Isn't it interesting?
He's turned round from leaving London and he's coming back to London to be on the Mall. I think, like so many people, to reflect, to think, and to give thanks, and it is a deep. It's right in the heart of all of us.
Do you know what? I think it's more embedded in us than we realise.
Yes.
Tell us more.